الحمد لله. أنا بسجل دلوقتي. I am actually like we just met and we said hi and everything. And I just actually wanted to see you welcoming me and giving me these hugs. And that will come. That's why I didn't want to hang up because I didn't want to see that. How are you?
الحمد لله أنا كويس.
How are you then?
أنا كويسة شكرا.
أنت كويسة?
الحمد لله.
So now we're recording. Can you see now? I'm sorry, I have a cold and I look miserable.
Okay.
So
Here we are. So this is it. We're doing it now, huh?
yes, we are doing it now. How are you?
Walk and talk.
I miss you a lot, actually.
I miss you too.
Really? How come you miss me? I'm an Egyptian.
Of course I miss you because you're Egyptian. That's why.
Really?
I miss all my Egyptian friends.
Thank you very much. So you have Egyptian friends?
I do.
Really?
I do.
So tell me, Debbie. Tell me everything. Okay, so tell me, you know that we're recording this for MidEastCan, Impartial MidEastCan.
Yes.
And now we are in New York and people are like in Santa Claus. Why are they in Santa Claus?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I've seen them in droves.
They look wonderful.
Traveling in packs. Red Santa suits and reindeers.
Do you feel like you want to do like them?
No.
Yeah.
It's way too cold. I see women in miniskirts.
Okay. So
well
I mean actually we can put a lot of things underneath these costumes so we will look big. So it will look like Santa Claus. It would be even better.
I can get a pillow. Actually, I don't need any extra padding. I fill it out myself.
No. How are you then?
Alhamdulillah.
So I would like you in a few minutes to tell me when was your last time to go to New York, to go to Egypt, and what's your experience there? Like how many times were you killed there? How many times were you hostage there? How bad Egyptians treated you? All these things.
Okay, so the first question, how long has it been since I was there?
Yeah.
About 5 weeks.
It was like 5 weeks? Yes.
Yes. About 5 weeks ago, and I went there with my all-time favorite Egyptologist guy. Well, he's one of my two favorites. This guy's name is John Anthony West, and he's the reason why I became so interested in Egypt.
Okay.
So, are we in the way? You need to move?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
But it's okay. Everybody's in everybody's way. We're in New York.
So I went there on one of those tours that, you know, it's not just any everyday tourist, it's people who are studying the history. So I was seeing the country from that perspective.
So
and,
the first attraction was like monuments and the history.
Right, the temples and the pyramids, of course. But
then what happened after that?
Well, we saw all these places, and to answer your question, nobody killed me. It was very safe, very peaceful. The people are some of the most warm-hearted people I have ever met in my life. And as you know, I went there originally because I was interested in the ancient history, but after going there and seeing the modern-day culture, I just fell in love with everything, the modern-day culture as well.
So you fell in love with the culture?
Oh yeah.
So what did you like, what you did not like? I would like to know both. We want to be like very realistic, we want to be very impartial. I would like to know what's the most fascinating thing and what's the most disappointing thing.
The most fascinating thing would have to be, there's two things I can't quite choose. Are you telling me to speak louder?
Yes, please.
I have a sore throat.
I'm sorry, and I have a cold too. I am miserable actually.
I have almost no voice left. Okay, the things that I'm most fascinated with is the temple in Luxor. I love that. And also the older places, or what seem to be the older places. The Sphinx is extremely old. And
how about people?
People.
What's like the culture thing? Like what was the most fascinating things? And what was the most intriguing or most bad thing?
The most fascinating things are just how we're very different. Our cultures are very, very different. Like for instance, I felt when I first went there that I couldn't really go there and just be like this. I felt like, oh, I'm committing some kind of, you know, people are either going to see me like I'm showing too much of myself, and maybe this is a little offensive to some people, and so in certain locations I would cover up just out of respect. So that was kind of something, I wouldn't call it a bad thing, just something that was different, that's all, and I respect the customs in any place. I will do whatever.
So when you went there, did you have really to cover up or you didn't?
No, not always. Not only in the very, very outer regions, in the very rural areas. but not very often. I didn't feel the need to do that.
How many times did you have to cover your face?
Never.
Never? Okay, so it's okay to okay. And how about okay? How about, so this is like was that like the best thing, or was that the worst thing?
It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. It was somewhere in the middle. Like, it wasn't a bad thing at all.
Okay, so what was the greatest thing? What was the worst thing?
Oh, the greatest thing was getting into certain locations. What do you mean the greatest thing about the people? Just their warmth, their outpouring of love. I know that sounds really corny, and he's not paying me to say that. Like, this is coming from the heart. This is the truth. This is why I went. I'm not a plant. So no, this is true. I was overwhelmed with how loving and warm the people are, and how welcoming. They're all very, very welcoming.
How about the worst thing? The thing that really kind of disappointed you, or you felt like you wish if it weren't there?
Okay, there is one thing. That is, when you go to these incredibly special sites and temples, there are people there who are there to make money. They are the vendors. And this is real. I hate saying this because I know that they're harassing us only because they need the money so badly. It's not their fault that they're so poor. It's not their fault that their economy is doing so badly. They're just doing whatever they have to do to make enough money to feed their families.
Well, I mean, there is no, maybe there is no excuse for harassing people. But thank you very much for being impartial and mentioning both the greatest thing and the thing that really annoyed you.
Right.
Have you ever felt like you are in danger?
Never. Never, never.
Never.
No. No.
Is there any specific times that you were, you wanted to go out, and specific times that you were forbidden to go out because it's not, like, where you,
No,
like,
there were no times when we were forbidden.
like, where are you from?
Australia.
Where in Australia?
I'm in Australia.
Okay.
في مدينة ملبورن.
من مدينة ملبورن. طيب يا ديبي, how long have you been here in New York?
15. Oh, is that 15 years?
15 سنة, 15 years.
Yeah.
No, you speak Arabic, I know that. Well,
He was my first teacher. He's the best. I love
thank you very
him. I
much.
mean, the current one is great too.
Thank you. This part I definitely will not cut it. But so tell me, have you ever felt like you're unsafe here in New York?
Yes, I have actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so some certain areas. How about Cairo? Is it almost the same, or some certain areas in Egypt are like the same?
I never felt worried about my physical safety when I was in Cairo. I only felt that I just wasn't familiar with the area, and so when I was by myself, I felt like, oh, I should get with people and, you know, stick with the tour. But I got a little more adventurous this time. I did go out a couple of times by myself.
Where did you go? I would like to hear that.
Well, we were staying at the Manor House, which is a very fancy hotel. I would never be able to afford to stay there usually, but our tour leader, that's where he has his guests staying. So we ventured out and we went to this fish restaurant across the street called Christo's. And we also went out, when we went to Aswan, we went to the souk, the market, and walked around the streets there. That was cool. I really wanted to see the streets. But I felt better if I was with a group, especially with a leader who knew where. This is a different leader. He employed a licensed tour guide. She's the one who took us to the market. I felt better knowing that I was with her, that she knew her way around.
Okay, so this tour leader, was she Egyptian or what?
She's Egyptian, yes.
She's
her name's
Egyptian.
Suhaila.
Her name is Suhaila. Did Suhaila,
Wonderful.
like, she's wonderful. Why was she wonderful?
Because she knew the areas very well. She knew where to go. She knew how to advise us if we wanted to buy something. She knew that these people are trying to make the prices as high as possible, and she would beat them down and say, no, I know you're trying.
So she would bargain for you.
Yeah, she helped us
So,
out.
and how about Suhaila? Was she like kind of educated woman, or she was like
Extremely
illiterate?
educated. Oh, she was extremely educated. She was not only perfect in her English, but when we got to the temples and the tombs, she could actually read the hieroglyphs almost fluent. She was just reading them off quickly, saying there was this king who started this place and who built this place. She was amazing.
Thanks you very much, Deb. Now we can talk as a friend.